Hi, my name is Tim Volsum. I am a student following the course Programming and Data Science for the 99%. And today I will discuss filtering in Excel. First off, I will discuss the built-in filtering functions that are already in Excel. And then I will explain how the Super Filter tool works, which is part of the KU Tools extension for Excel for Windows only. So, what kind of filtering functions does Excel already have? Why would we ever need a super filtering tool in the first place? Well, Excel has two filtering functions, the standard and the advanced filtering function. The standard filtering function works as follows. You select the range that you want of data that you want to filter, you click on the filtering function, and then in the first row, buttons will appear which will indicate drop-down menus, which you can use to select the data elements that you want to keep and the data elements that you want to remove. After you're done, you have the filtered data. This, as an example, in this data set, which it contains data about all games on the gaming platform Steam, I have selected that I want to see games that are released before 2004, and I also want to see games that cost less than €5. The problem here is that you can only filter on one specific condition, not on several at the same time. This is obviously not convenient. Another inconvenience is that if you work with numbers, you want to have all the results less than or greater than a certain value, then you have to deselect all the values that are above or below that certain value. So the second function is the advanced filtering function. This advanced filtering function allows you to specify more than one criterion of data that you want to filter. How to use this is relatively simple. You select the data again, but this time you also select another portion of your spreadsheet that contains the conditions on which you want to filter your data. For example, in this spreadsheet I want to filter on all games that are released on 2004 and cost $4.99, but I also want to see all the games released on 2014 and cost $14.99, for an example. This is already an improvement, but it's still not really convenient because you have to manually type out all your data. For this, in order to make this more convenient, we use the super filter function. So now that we've seen the downsides of using the filtering tools that are provided to us by Excel, we can now take a look at the super filtering tool. Before we can even use the super filtering tool, we first need to install KU Tools for Windows for Excel. In order to do so, we go to the website listed down below, then go to the download link, and then follow the step-by-step process from there on. This should install KU Tools for Windows for Excel. After you've installed that, once you fire up Excel again, you see two new tabs. Those are KU Tools and the Enterprise tab. The super filter is listed under the Enterprise tab. So after the super filter has been clicked, we will see a large submenu on the right side of the screen. We can select here the range of data that we want to filter, but in the main panel we have the drop-down menu of the relationship between the subgroups, which indicates that whether the relationship between the subgroups is an AND relationship or an OR relationship, and also the Add Subgroup button and the Remove All Subgroups button. Subgroups are basically subsections of the criteria. In a subgroup, we have several other buttons and drop-down menus. Of course, we have the Relationship drop-down menu again, and also the Add Criterion button, which adds a blank criterion to the list of criteria, and also the Add Subgroup button and the Remove this subgroup button. So now for an example. So as an example, let's say again that I'm a little bit of an old school gamer. I only want to to see games released before 2004. But I also want to check out more newer titles, so I also want to see games released after 2014. However, I am on a budget, so these games should not cost more than, let's say, $15. How do I do that? Well, that's very simple. I open up the Super Filter tool, I select the range of data that I want to filter, and as a first relationship between subgroups, I specify OR, because it's either released before 2004 or released after 2014 and cost $15 or less. I make two subgroups, one with only one criterion and one with two criteria, and then in the one with one criterion I state that the release date year is a number and should be less than 2004. And in the second subgroup I say that the release date year is again a number and should be greater than 2014, and the price is also a number and should be less than 15. After that I'm done and I click the filter button and voila, my data is filtered. I have the data that I want right now. As you can see, the super filter is a very flexible tool, and you can easily create far more complex filtering criteria than what I've demonstrated right now. I hope you have learned something today, and I hope you will use this tool in the future.